Okay, this little snippet here is gonna go right before my thoughts video or review, I guess, of Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Because I originally planned to put some of the trailer like footage in the video just to give it some flair, I guess. But while uploading it, when it checked for like copyright reasons, it flagged it and said I was misusing it. And I didn't feel like dealing with that. When I did mute the audio, I didn't even keep the audio in the trailers, and I cut some of it out too. So I don't know. I just didn't feel like dealing with it. So I'm just gonna upload it raw without any like footage or pictures from the movie because I don't feel like dealing with the copyright system and stuff like that. So hope you guys will understand. Sorry, I don't feel like messing with dealing with like my views getting gimped because of the whole copyright claim thing. So sorry guys. Hope you guys still enjoy it. Here it is. But go watch the movie. It's super good. See what I did there? Okay, so I'm in my new setup and I'm gonna do a video talking about Dragon Ball Super. So this will be my first new video in my new upstairs living room studio setup. Um, and this isn't like final. That table you see is gonna be moved. It, this is just temporary. Shout out to my friend that helped quickly set this up tonight, and because at the time of me filming the video, literally like a few hours ago, um, they came over and helped us get everything set up. So I really appreciate that. Shout outs to them for doing that because I didn't have to do that, but they were willing to. So I really appreciate that. But anyway, let's get to the video here. So if you do like this video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, click that bell button. We're almost to 70,000 subscribers. So let's get to 70,000. We're almost there. But give me a like too. Liking helps out a ton and always helps videos out with everybody. Sorry, I'm not trying to look over. My dog is literally laying right here. So I gotta make sure she doesn't do anything weird. But let's get to the video. Overall, Dragon Ball Super Superhero is a pretty good movie. There's a few things with it I didn't really care for that I'll get into. This video will contain spoilers, and so if you don't want to be spoiled, click off now and then come back to it later, and you can hear my thoughts. But overall, the movie's pretty good. There are some things that irked me, but I'll get to those in a second. But my wife and I saw the Japanese dub with English subtitles. They do English and Japanese dubs, so you can pick your point. It doesn't matter. We wanted to go to the English dub, but she mistakenly did saw a Japanese dub showing. Not a big deal, but we did go to IMAX, which was really cool. So if you can see it at IMAX, see it in IMAX. That's really cool and really immersive with like the sounds and everything. The screen's really nice, too. So the superhero movie, okay. Um, like I said, overall the movie's great because it gives Gohan's character a nice, decent arc, as well as Piccolo's, because they both have new abilities that get shown and unlocked in this movie. That's really cool, in my opinion, about this movie is that they get two new abilities or forms, whatever you want to call it. Um, but the movie starts out kind of mediocre. Like at the beginning, they kind of preface the movie by giving you a little backstory on the Reverend Army and who Dr. Hito is and how he's related to Dr. Gero, how I don't remember the Android 21 character name, but it's basically Android 21 from Dragon Ball FighterZ, the Lab Code version of her. They say she was the wife of Dr. Gero, and their son was based on their son. They based Android 16 off of their son, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And they basically gave a rundown of who the androids were, what Cell was, and that go on destroying them, whatever. In the beginning, that's fine. Like you need to open the movie with that in case people don't know who the Revenant are, and so they kind of understand what they're all about. So that's fine. Like that's a minor gripe. Like I feel like they just did that for fan service for Android 21 fans, but okay, it kind of makes sense. They kind of retconned her a little bit in the anime universe in the anime space, I guess, because the manga and anime are completely different animals. Like whether it's anime canon or like manga canon, that's up for debate. But they're basically retconning her, so that's fine. But like the latter half, the beginning latter half of the movie is really like lackluster because it really just shows like the Revenant Army like talking about how they want to stop the aliens and from like destroying the world, and how Capsule Corp is the reason the aliens are trying to destroy the world because Capsule Corp is helping the aliens with their technology or whatever. Because Capsule Corp is the richest corporation in Dragon Ball universe, and Red Ribbon isn't as powerful of a conglomerate as they are. Which, if you're a evil entity, you wouldn't be like dominant over that. So they're explaining. I think it's Carmine. It might be. I don't remember if Carmine was driving or Magenta was driving. One of them was explaining to Dr. Hito, Dr. Zero's grandson, that the aliens are bad and that Capsule Corp is bad and they need to be stopped and destroyed and they need to destroy the aliens and basically cripple the Capsule Corporation. Dr. Hito was like, well, my mother said to stay away from my grandfather because he was kind of a crazy eccentric guy. Like he had crazy theories about stuff. And he's like, no, 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 this is all true. Like he wouldn't lie to us. So in Dr. Hito's mind, they're telling him the truth. So like he's like, well, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 should be able to take care of that. And then when they get to the base, they talk more about the other plan they have, which is the main villain in the movie. So I'll give you one more warning, because Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 were already like known about before the movie came out. But I'll give you one more warning before I continue to click off the video because what I'm about to say is going to spoil a lot of the movie. So click off now if you don't want to know what I'm gonna talk about. So okay, I wanted to give you a couple more steps before I started talking again. So they talk about their new creation called Cell Max, and Piccolo's there infiltrating them because he heard from Gamma 1 or Gamma 2, I can't remember which one he fights. He fights one of them. He hears from one of them that they're working on destroying the aliens at the Capsule Corp, and Piccolo goes to infiltrate them by taking one of the clothes of one of the guards, knocking him out. And he overhears about Cell Max, and that freaks him out. So he calls Bulma and was like, "You need to call Vegeta and Goku to get them here. Where are they?" And she tells him they're off on Beerus's planet with Beerus, Whis, Broly, Cheelai, and Lemo. training. And then Pickle's like, well, great, you have to try to call them. So she tries to call them. She's unsuccessful. Like, she can't get a hold of them because they're not paying attention to Whis' staff, which notifies him when he gets a call of any kind. And basically, then Piccolo realizes, like, hey, I can go up to the lookout, have Dende unleash my potential like Elder Guru did with Gohan and Krillin, and get some senzu beans while I'm at it from Korn and Yajirobe. So he does that. He talks to Korn a little bit about like Gohan and how he's afraid that Gohan's not ready yet for this threat that's looming over the earth. And Korn's like, yeah, I agree. What has he not trained on? And Piccolo explains like, no, he's kind of slacked off. And he's like, oh, this isn't good. Like, we need help. You need to get Goku here. And then he's like, oh, well, I'm trying to get in contact with him now. He goes up to Dende and it's like, look, I know you know what's going on. Is there any way you can unleash my potential? Like Gohan and Krillin had done by Elder Guru. And he's like, no, because I'm not an elder. I'm a Namekian, but I'm basically the kami or the god of this planet. But I'm not an elder yet. Only an elder is wise enough and able enough to do that. I don't know how to do that. But Shenron can. So he makes the wish for Shenron after Dende upgrades him. And Shenron tells him, there, your wish is granted, but I gave you something extra. And Piccolo's like, wonder what that means. Like, he was like confused by that. Like, okay. They waste the other two wishes. One was like, make my wrinkles go away and make my butt more firm or something. And then like they go away, and her butt's like firmer. And Piccolo's like, really? Why would you waste the wishes on that? We could have saved the wishes for something better. And then Piccolo leaves, goes to try to fight, goes to infiltrate the Red Red Army again, puts on the uniform again. He goes there. They're talking about trying to find Goku's son Gohan, so they can like draw Goku out and like kidnap him or kill him or whatever. But then Piccolo is like, I know how I can draw his son Gohan out. And they're all like, how? Well, I happen to know where his daughter goes to preschool. I can go kidnap her for you. And all the guys are like, no, don't believe this newbie. He's a new guy. He wouldn't know what he's talking about. Carmine's like, no, if he knows where she is, let him do what he wants. But you go with him, talking to one of the guards. So they go pick her up. Pan knocks the burly guy out. And while he's knocked out, Piccolo's like, look, we're playing a game. Wear these handcuffs. Get in this vehicle. And when we get to the place, when we get to the River Army base that I infiltrated, act like you're scared and that you can't get away. And she's like, okay, what's infiltrated? Then he has to explain what like infiltrated means. Kind of a cute moment because he's like being very like understanding about that. She doesn't understand what that means. So it's kind of a nice little moment there with that. So they go to Gohan's house where he's, I don't know if it's his house or if it's like a study, but they go to like the window where he's at, and they knock on the window. They're like, hey, you need to come with us. We're part of the Red Red Army. And it's like, not now, I'm busy. And then the guy pulls out a gun. He's like, no, come with us now. And then Gohan just like flicks the gun away and like breaks it, basically. And he's like, no, not right now. It shuts the windows. And then Piccolo taps on the window glass and says, come with us now. He doesn't recognize it's Piccolo, mind you. Because Gohan's an idiot. Like, I don't know how he didn't recognize. And he's like, we have your daughter. The bigger guy was like, we have your daughter. We kidnapped her. And he was like, where is she? Where is she? Oh, she's fine for now. And then he pulls up the CCTV camera footage that they have, and she's kind of like acting like she's afraid. It's like cowering away, but of course she's not. She's not afraid at all. She's just acting. She's pretending because that's what Piccolo told her to do. So then Gohan gets upset and goes Super Saiyan because he's mad. He's like, take me to her right now, right now. And the guy's like, please don't hurt me, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. Like he's cowering away. He's like, okay, we'll take you to her. So they get there. But when they get there, Magenta and Carmine are waiting for him with Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. And then Piccolo reveals himself to them that he was infiltrating them. And the Red Ribbon's like mad, like, oh my god, I knew you were a spy, and you're one of those aliens too. And then one of them says like, to Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, like, take care of them. So like, Gohan goes Super Saiyan. He's getting beat up by Gamma 1, I believe. I think he fights Gamma 1. I think Piccolo fights Gamma 2. I'm pretty sure. So he's getting beat up a lot, and Piccolo sees that he's struggling, and Piccolo's doing okay with his new power, his like potential unleashed, or whatever you want to call it. And I'll have some pictures, and I'll have the trailer open too, so you guys can see kind of what the animation looks like and stuff too. I forgot to mention that earlier, but he sees Gohan getting like beaten pretty badly and not faring very well. So he goes up to where Pan is because he's still kind of like away from the action. But he revealed himself to like Gamma 1. So Gamma 1 is the one that knows that it's not, and he's not a Red Ribbon. He puts back on the uniform, goes up there and was like, I need you to act like you're afraid, and I'm gonna make your dad angry and make him unleash his potential again. So he does that. She acts scared. He unleashes his potential that he used during the Super Buu fight in the Buu saga. Then they go back down and start fighting again. Gohan's still kind of getting pummeled, but he's faring better than he was before. Piccolo realizes he can't win with the power he has. He's getting beaten up pretty badly by Gamma 1. And he gets I think it's a Ki Blast that does it, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. But he gets beat up pretty bad. And then that's when the extra power that Shenron talked about gets unlocked. And it's like this orange ball that is like protruding from his back. It like glows and then like it's almost like a fire when he like powers up. It's like a fiery orange aura at first, and then like when he comes out, he's like a little bit taller and he's orange, and his antennae are like sticking straight up, kind of like Super Saiyan, and he's kind of like more buff in a way. So then like Gamma 1's like punching him, and it's not phasing Piccolo at all. And Piccolo's just like, really? And then he starts beating up Gamma 1. Well, Magenta or Carmine, I think it's Magenta realizes it and goes with Carmine to unleash Cell Max. Even though Dr. Hito protested and was like, no, 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 you can't do it yet because if you do, he'll destroy us all because he's not ready. He's not cognitively like aware. He has no awareness of anything, and he's just like pure monstrous. And they're like, oh, I don't care. We're just gonna do it anyway because we need to get rid of them. And so he chases after him. He gets there. He stops. I want to say it's Magenta. I think Carmine like stays back or something because he realizes like not to do it, or maybe he gets taken out by Dr. Hito somehow. I don't remember exactly, but I know it's Magenta that does it. But he injects him with something, with one of the Reverend Hari beetle bug things, one of the surveillance things, but it has like a stainer, stings him in the neck. It poisons him, but before he dies, he slams on the release button, releases Cell Max. Hito freaks out trying to stop the um stop the unleashing of Cell Max, but it doesn't work because once it started, it can't be interrupted. So Telmac comes out, blows everything up in that current building, and then when he's out, he just starts just going nuts, destroying everything. And then Game of One and Game of Two realize, like, oh crap, they were right. They unleashed Telmax even when they said that was like the last resort because they thought we were losing. So maybe you were right. They are the bad guys. So go on and Piccolo are like, will you help us? And they agree to help them fight Cell Max. And they tell Piccolo and Gohan that his weak point is in his forehead. They aim for his forehead with a ki blast or an attack or whatever. So they're fighting, they're getting their butts kicked. Even with Piccolo's new form, he's still getting his butt kicked. He remembers he can go giant. He goes like giant to be on the same like height level as and size level as Cell Max to fight him, but still that makes no difference. So Gamma 1 or no, Gamma 2 says, look, I'm gonna try to destroy him. Keep him busy so I can aim for his head so I can destroy him with my full power attack. Basically, he's gonna blow himself up and sacrifice himself. So he goes up in the air, basically almost like I guess above the Earth's atmosphere because you can see the Earth, and then he like full speed goes down, hits Cell, but in big explosion, but it doesn't do anything because at the last second Cell saw and like ducked, so it didn't do anything. So realizing Gamma 2 was destroyed, Gamma 1 moves his body and and, and puts him in a safe place. So I guess so they can bury him or something or try to repair him at some point. But he does that. But while he's doing that, he realizes Dr. Hito got caught in the explosion and is like almost dead. So he goes over to where he is, lays on top of him to like cover him up. Because Gohan and Piccolo are still fighting with Cell at this point. Bulma comes with Goten, Trunks, Krillin, and Android 18 to help fight Cell Max. And Goten and Trunks try to fuse, but they mess up and they like cross their fingers in a way they're not supposed to during the fusion dance, and that prevents them from being the correct form of Goten. They're fat Gotens, so they can't really fight to their full potential. But they do manage to crack Cell Max's forehead when they do like a headbutt. So they kind of weakened his weak spot a little bit, which I thought was kind of weird. I was like, huh, I guess Fat Guy Tanks did something cool for once. Um, but Piccolo tells Gohan like, you need to charge up to your like max power. So Gohan goes off and it's like trying to charge up while they're keeping Telmax busy. Piccolo almost gets killed by Cell Max. Gohan sees this and enrages him just like it did with Android 16 when Cell kills him. And that same iconic scene where that streak goes like that red line streak goes through like Gohan's head to signify like he's enraged happens. It's literally the same exact kind of shot. It's like shot for shot. And then he gets enraged, goes berserk, and then when the smoke clears, he has white hair and like red eyes, like red pupils. Um, and he's like, and the bang going down just like with Super Saiyan 2. So this new form is like Gohan's. I guess it's akin to like Gohan's version of Ultra Instinct, maybe, because that's what I thought. Because that's what it seems like. Because of how much stronger he is, but I'm not sure. That's just my theory. But they call it Beast Gohan. So while he's in this form, Cell focuses on him. Cell goes to punch him full force, does nothing. Gohan's like, "Is that all you got?" Punches him back. Cell gets mad, does this huge energy ball, and it's really like trippy colors. So like if you see it in theater, it's gonna be like kind of like a strobe effect. So I'm kind of warning you guys about that. If you have like a seizure disorder thing, kind of don't want to be around that part because it might trigger that. But anyway, he throws the ball. Go on, stops it, and then he's like, I'm gonna just finish this. So he starts charging up the special beam cannon or the Matai Gosan. Um, and then Piccolo sees him charging it up. So he holds him back with his arms, his like stretching arms. And he's like, go on, fire it, fire it. So Gohan fires it, goes straight through his forehead. Cell basically collapses and he starts expanding like second form cell did when he blew himself up. So he's expanding, expanding, expanding. Piccolo will go and realize he's gonna explode. So they start flying away and they realize that they forgot Pan. And Krillin's like screaming like Pan, Pan, fly, fly away, fly away. And then she's just running, running, running. She's like, I can't, I can't. And then like right before the explosion reaches her, she jumps in the air and manages to fly away at the last second, which was really cool. I was like, I knew that. I knew that's how they would do that because that's kind of how Gohan used his power at that age when he would get like in trouble or something like that. He would unleash like ki or something. So that's probably why it happened. So after the huge explosion, they check to see if everybody's okay. Everyone's okay, and they find Game of One hovered over Dr. Hito, and they're both fine. And Gohan's like, "Are you guys okay?" And by the way, they're still in their Gohan and Piccolo are still like in their new forms, and Piccolo's like, at one point that they mentioned like Orange Piccolo, like just call me Orange Piccolo. I I think it's like towards the end of the movie. I think when that happens, I'm pretty sure. But then they're like talking with Gamma One, he finds Gamma 2, but I'm assuming because of the explosion, he like disintegrates. Because they pick him up and he just starts disintegrating in his arms. So like Gamma 2's like kind of upset about it because they were kind of, I guess, twin brothers in a way. Because that's what it kind of seemed like. Because it seemed like he actually cared about like his well-being. So he was kind of upset about that. But then he's like, well, I guess we got to turn ourselves in to the police. And Bulma was like, no, just come work for me. We'll just act like this never happened. And Dr. Hito's like, really? Are you sure? And she's like, yeah, just work with us. No one's going to believe this story anyway. And so that's how the movie ends. And there is a post-credit scene. I'm not going to spoil that, but stay for the whole credits scene because there is a post-credit screen. So stay for it. But like I said, overall, the movie isn't terrible, but just I feel like the story could have been written a bit better, and I wish it would have had more action to it. Like the action that was there was good, but I feel like they dwell a little bit too much on like Piccolo getting his power and like just Piccolo infiltrating the base and stuff. Um, like they just went too in depth on it. I wish there was more fight scenes in the movie. Like the fight scenes that were there were great. Like they're good. I just wish there was more. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Like overall, the movie is definitely worth a watch. I mean, for crap's sake, it was the #1 movie. Like it made over like $70 million or something, I think. So it was the #1 movie for a while. So it's definitely worth seeing if it's still in theater. I'm pretty sure last time I checked it was. If it still is, you guys should definitely go see it before it gets rotated out, because that will eventually happen. So go see it. It's definitely worth it. Go pick your poison, whether you pick Japanese or English. I would pick Japanese just because that's how it's was originally made. So I find it kind of cool to watch it that way. So I would go that way, even if you're a purist. Like it's still pretty cool to watch it in its original form. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. And thank you, Patreon supporters, for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me if you want to support the channel on Patreon. The link is right there. I'll make sure I put a link right there or something. The button to click on, and all your names are scrolling by right now. But special shout out to my bronze tier members, to Reaper7734 and Matt Y99. So thank you guys for your support, and I really appreciate you guys' support and everyone's support of the channel, even if you just subscribe. That really helps the channel as well. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out, and go watch this movie. It's really good.